Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you're listening in from. This is the BS Buddies podcast. I'm your host, Joe. That is your host, Ian. And happy Thanksgiving. Uh, if you celebrate, I know it's more of a United States thing. I know some other countries have their own, but
Own version
um,
of it. I think doesn't Canada have one
I
that's
think
kind of
so.
similar?
Um, but if you celebrate or don't, we're happy to have you here. Our podcast just kind of lands on Thanksgiving, so we figured we'd do a Thanksgiving episode and talk about our traditions and food and stuff we're grateful for. Which I'll start. I'm grateful for my cat Magnus, who's sitting on my lap, the
I
big boy.
like how you pick him up and he's just
Yeah,
kind of got that
this boy.
help help me look on his face. God, he's a chunky boy. You
Yeah,
know
he's
what?
like 25 pounds.
Just because we were talking about that and tying in with the Thanksgiving, I am also thankful for Mags because he brings back a hilarious memory from a time that I stayed over at Joe's place and
That we just talked
you know,
about before this.
yeah, that we just talked about before this, but that's okay because it's funny, so I want to tell it again. Because, I just go over to see Joe, and it's just me. I crash on the couch, I ain't got no problem with that. And Joe's like, hey, you ever tried a weighted blanket before? I was like, no, I have not, but I've heard wonderful things about them. Let me try it. So I, lay down, and he just kind of plumps this big weighted blanket on me, and I'm like, ooh, it's wonderful. Feels like I'm being hugged. And, eventually we go to bed and whatever, pass out. And I wake up, 2 in the morning. I'm on my back on the couch staring up at the ceiling. And as I'm sitting there and as I come awake slowly, it's like a, oh, I feel this great pressure on my chest. And I'm like, wow, this weighted blanket really hits different when you wake up in the middle of the night. To which point I glance down upon my chest and I see two big beady eyes the size of marbles glowing in the soft light cast by the street light through the window, and it's Mags. And I go, oh, it's Mags. Hi, Mags. How you doing? And the response I got was, and I'm like,
The
thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. I hope that
microphone.
spiked your audio for you.
No, it didn't come up, unfortunately. But
Oh, I bet it
my
did. I
my
bet it came up.
my cat is the loudest purring cat I've ever heard in my life. It is literally a boat motor in the
Sounds like a
speed.
75 horse Johnson on the back of like a 12-foot little long john, just like full speed
Pretty
booking it
much.
across 2-stroke engine. Like you feel his purrs
That's my
vibrate.
boy.
He's about the size of a turkey and he's so friendly. But okay, anyways, back to the topic
Back
at
to
hand,
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
This was well. You brought up like holiday food, and I kind of changed it into Thanksgiving. Would you like to go first?
You know what? I think we can let's start with Thanksgiving for our favorite holiday food, and then we will slowly just roll into the others, any that kind of fit nicely. Now, one that I'm always a sucker for that I have found is usually a 50-50 split, cranberry sauce. Oh, I love me some cranberry sauce on Thanksgiving. I get it. It's not everyone's cup of tea. It comes out a little bit tart, but I tell you what, when you get some of that white meat turkey, you put a little bit of that cranberry sauce on there. Oh, that's the stuff right there. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I like cranberries. I love cranberry sauce. Probably one of my favorite.
I don't
Gotta
think
gotta
I've
have it.
really ever had it. Like I've tried it a little bit, but I just never figured I would like it. And for me, it just seemed so out of place. I know it's like a staple, but it for me, it's like I got meat, stuffing, potatoes, and now this is just a really sweet thing that I'm supposed to put on this. I'm confused.
To be fair, I want to know, excuse me, I want to know where the tradition of having cranberry sauce at Thanksgiving comes from. Because, in all reality, if I was new to the concept of Thanksgiving and you told me, oh, yeah, we take food from our great harvest, we had corn and some wheat, we made some nice bread, we had green beans, carrots, we made a stew, we threw it all in there, we got turkey from hunting season. I was like, okay, yeah, that tracks food you grew over the summertime, animals that you hunted with, you got on the table, blah, blah, blah. And now over here on this plate, we have some red sauce, vaguely congealed from a can that you shake out. It's of the consistency of Jell-O, and it's tart. And it's not even native to this part of the country. Now I have several questions.
Yeah.
Where did you acquire this product? Why is it like that? Why do you put it on the meat? You know what I mean? So like I get it, but it's always sparked my curiosity as where has cranberry sauce actually came from? Because you know what it reminds me of when you open up the cans and you pour it out and you see it just kind of jiggling there, a little cylinder of I don't know,
I know
whatever
what you
they
mean.
throw in there. You know what it reminds me of? Have you ever seen those cookbooks from like the 70s? Those nightmare cookbooks when like everyone ever was putting things in Jello, and it's like, "Oh, put your Thanksgiving dinner in a Jello," and it's like freaking mashed taters, peas,
That
and
sounds awful.
stuffing. Yeah, it is awful. Look it up. There's like old
I don't
cookbooks
want
with
to.
like horrific
I
looking,
will
but
not
that's
look that up.
I don't know where it comes from, but that's what it reminds me of. It looks like Jello from the 70s when they were trying to make Jello the best thing on the planet. I don't know.
Anyways,
You know what? Fantastic idea. You roll into your next point, and I'm gonna look up where cranberry sauce came from because I want to know.
they, just on Thanksgiving Day, the very first one, they went over to the bog and just grabbed a bunch of cranberries, smashed it on the table, and just said, "Eat this."
Yeah, they they slapped them down. Somebody accidentally set their plate on it and squished them, and they picked it up, and like crazy
Little.
Steve in the corner was like, "I'll eat it," and then just, man, that's pretty good. You guys got to try this. And then everyone else tried it and was like, "Hey, that's pretty good. Let's have cranberries on
You
Thanksgiving."
sound like the host of the Red Green Show right there.
Thanks for that. I try really hard.
So I guess one thing that I didn't have growing up that I eventually uh, had, I don't know if people consider it a staple to Thanksgiving. I don't think we really had it. Green bean casserole, and Midwestern. I love my hot dish. I don't say casserole, but green bean casserole is one of the very few exceptions where we actually call it
Man,
by that.
that is weird. I don't know why. I don't know why we call that
I
one
think because
casserole,
it's
but all the
not.
rest of them hot dish.
I was gonna say because it's not usually hot, but that's a lie. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's room temp. Anyways, um, yeah, that's one of my favorite things to eat now for Thanksgiving, and I don't like never had it, and then I thought it was the best thing ever.
Thought it was
Besides,
fantastic.
um, also, excuse me. One thing also is stuffing. So for my family is big around the local church, and they would have a bazaar, so games, prizes, stuff like that. My family would always like help cook for it, and one thing my family always did was make stuffing, and it's not like your box stuffing. Um, it's like I don't know how to describe it really because I don't really watch them make it, but it's like homemade stuffing, and it's so good every single time.
Oh, homemade stuffing. You know, I gotta admit, when I was younger, I was not the biggest fan of stuffing, but as I've gotten older, I've come more to enjoy the taste of it. Granted, I still can't do a lot of it at once, but I do enjoy some good stuffing. I do enjoy some good stuffing. It's the fantastic stuff. The stuffing.
Ing.
I thought of another one while we were talking about. I don't know specifically what the name of it is off the top of my head, but I know what I know it by, which is I think it's called candied yams. Is
I've
that
heard
what
it.
it is?
I think
Is
so.
it like the yams with like the marshmallow
Yeah,
stuff,
I think
whatever
I've
on?
heard it called canned yams or candied yams.
I
I've
think it's
never had
candied
it,
yam.
and I don't think I've ever been served it. So I don't really know what it looks like, but I've heard of it.
I might be incorrect. I might have to look that one up. But honestly,
I
candied
think you're right.
yams are a dish that has grown on me exponential. I used to not like yams when I was younger, which, to be fair, a better question is what is a yam?
Yeah,
I've had
I was
ham.
just about
What is a
to
yam?
ask
It's like a
that.
it's like a like a squash, I think. Similar to
That
it's
makes
got like a
sense.
consistency of squash, but it's candied yams, and yeah, it's like a squash with they have like a sweetened something layer on top. I think it's It to me it looks like marshmallow. It tastes like probably marshmallow. I don't know. And usually it shows up at my brother's Thanksgiving, and it's always fantastic. I love it. It's I don't see it often, and like I said, I don't really know the name of it all that well, which I should do my better research and figure that out. But that is another fantastic food that I always enjoy on
Well,
Thanksgiving. And just as a real quick piece
did
of
you look
history,
it up?
because I was curious for cranberry sauce. Yes, the recipe for cranberry sauce appears in the 1796 edition of American Cookery by Amelia Simmons, the first known cookbook authored by an American. Interesting. And then it says cranberry sauce was first offered to consumers in North America in 1912 in Hanson, Massachusetts. So the recipe, I guess, has been around for like a
For
super long
almost
time,
over
but
200
the
years.
yeah, the kind that we know today, like out of the can, started
Early
like around the turn of the century.
1910s. I
Yeah.
also thought of one other thing that's Scandinavian. I never had it. My and I don't like bringing this part up because past stuff. My ex's family would make it every year. Lefse.
Oh, lefse.
I got to learn
Fuck.
how to make it, which I don't make it myself, but I would help
Lefse is
out. Basically, sorry, I just touchy subject. Anyways,
no. It's not that.
okay.
It's the concept of explaining lefse to
Oh, don't worry.
anyone
I
who
got
is
it. I
not
got it.
rural or well, let
So
me I'm gonna do the nightmare explanation, and then I'm going to let you do the more in-depth explanation.
by the way,
So
we
for
don't know either person's explanation, so enjoy the ride. I'll be enjoying it as well.
lefse, for any one of you who is not Midwestern in origin or whatever. Lefse is essentially if you were to take a flour tortilla, slap some butter on that bad boy, sprinkle a little bit of sugar on there, roll it up, and eat it.
You said that
That's
was
lefse.
the nightmare
Yeah,
explanation. That's
that's the
literally
nightmare.
what it is, and that's exactly how I was going to explain it. Lefse is literally you. So
Butter
hold
a
on,
tortilla.
back. So the tortilla is potato based is the big thing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a potato tortilla, yes, and then butter, cinnamon, and you fold it over
Sugar.
on itself and you eat it like that. Very
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Roll it up. Like there's no. Well, I mean, there's cooking involved if you're making the tortillas from scratch, but
Yes.
I feel like there should be a different name for it if it's potato based, because tortilla implies that it's flour or corn, which I guess of those two options means you could also have a potato tortilla, but like, why not a potatilla, or
Petit.
a portilla? I
Patilla?
don't know,
I don't know.
something something to
Tortilla.
differentiate it, because saying potato tortilla just conjures up weird images in my mind that I don't know how to
Okay,
justify.
you deal with your inner thoughts of potato
However,
tortillas, but anyways, really good.
outside of making the tortilla, there is no cooking involved. There is no heat involved. It's just slap her down, slather some butter, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of sugar, if you so desire. Roll that sucker up like a taquito you bought out of the $14 box from Walmart and crunch into that sucker.
Or you just fold it over on itself, which is what I'm used to. But yeah, very, very good. If you've never had it, never heard of it, I highly recommend it. It's a good sweet treat after everything.
They are in fact quite wonderful. I enjoy them. I haven't had them in a number of years, but I'm
Um,
lefse. That's spelled Lefse for anyone who's curious.
yes,
Lefse.
thank you. Um, if you don't mind, I was gonna go into like kind of what I did for Thanksgiving growing up. I don't know if you did anything
Yeah,
specific.
go
Um,
for it.
but it was always Macy's Day Parade was on, had to be on.
Yep.
Um, then after like closer to lunch, my grandparents would come over and we would chat, talk, and then my mom's side of the family would come over. They were kind of spaced out, so some of them came and some of them didn't. It was a long drive for them, but they would come over, we would eat, and after we would have bingo. So
Oh,
like everyone would bring like little door prizes, so like fuzzy socks or scratch offs, and we filled out a whole card table full of
ooh.
just little tiny prizes, a lot of candies, and then play bingo until everything is gone, which is always fun. I think we still play bingo. Thanksgiving's been kind of weird. Fortunately, grandparents are passed away now, so we kind of all do our own thing. Then COVID screwed everything up. Um, the next year we had a COVID scare, so didn't have Thanksgiving. Last year went down to my sister's, and then Violet was sick, so we had to leave. So
Oh,
hoping this Thanksgiving goes a little more smooth, but it's been a while since I played some Thanksgiving bingo.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, so we never had anything quite so extravagant growing up. I know when I was really young, we always used to go up to my great grandmother's house in near Fargo. And we would go up there and we'd have Thanksgiving up there. And then obviously when everything's said and done there, the adults would go watch TV on those big old cathode ray tubes, them giant freaking boxes that were like the size of
Oh,
a
I know
pickup
what you're
truck.
talking about.
And then I would go off and go play with my Lincoln Logs or something like that. In recent years, it's gotten a bit hairier, obviously, as everyone grows up and has their own family. Thanksgiving has kind of gotten split. So now I run into this weird tactic where I have to kind of either portion out my Thanksgiving day or I'm hopping and I'm having like Thanksgivings for like 3 weeks in a
Ooh.
row every single weekend. Whereas in more recent years, especially with my girlfriend now and her family in the mix, I have a Thanksgiving where I go to my brother's, a Thanksgiving where I go to my sister's, a Thanksgiving where I go with my buddy and his grandparents. I have a Thanksgiving with her and her grandparents, a Thanksgiving with her family, and like I got like so much Thanksgiving. By the time it's done, I'm gonna be freaking sick of turkey, man. Like
Yeah,
I think
I feel
last
that.
year we hit up 3 different dinners in one day for Thanksgiving. Like we showed up in the morning, and so I had to like sample every plate. And do you know what kind of torture that is? Like I understand. I'm a very skinny built man. For those who are listening in and cannot see me on the screen, I am about 6 foot tall, 160 pounds, bone dry. Like I've got nothing on me, but I love food, and I especially love Thanksgiving. I love sampling all the different plates. Do you know to take like 2 pieces of turkey? Because you know that you have to hit up another 2 dinners afterwards, and I don't want to be rude and take a plate and not be able to finish it. I will not sink to the level of flipping the plate over when I put it in the trash can. No, that plate is going in face up, empty. I want you to know that I ate everything on that plate and I loved it. But that gets more difficult as these Thanksgivings go on, and we gotta kind of split the buck. And now we've even got friendsgiving. We've started up trying to do a friendsgiving here at the house. With myself, my girlfriend, and my 2 buddies who are right close by, live real close, and even that can be difficult trying to fit that into a schedule. So I do enjoy Thanksgiving. It is probably next to Christmas one of my most busy holidays where I'm like running everywhere trying to hit every single stop.
I'm very grateful I just have the one, because yeah, I'd be stressed out of my mind if I had to go from
how
place
much
to
how
place.
much gas we freaking burn getting place to place to I could probably put a turkey, cover it up in a pan, stick it in the engine block, and by the time we got done with all our driving on Thanksgiving Day, I'd have a fully cooked turkey for myself at the end of the day. I tell you what, like, but it does make for a lot of fun times though. Um, like typically at my brother's house when we get done with all the eating, everyone crack a couple beers, maybe watch football game, whatever's going on, and then take a nap for a few hours. wake up and play some Cards Against Humanity or something like that. That's always good time. So
Solid. I know I'll have more to say once we get closer to Christmas because I do a lot more then.
oh yeah,
But
those are always the big ones.
I don't think we have too much more except for
Not a lot.
if we want to say what
Ooh,
we're thankful for. Stuff like that.
tie in real quick. Black Friday. Does your family ever do a lot of Black Friday shopping?
Absolutely not. So I'm gonna get
See,
into
that's
this. Now we're reaching something else. Black Friday, as someone who has worked Black Friday, I want to say 5 out of the 7-ish years that I've been out of the house. Like, no. Like, I will say I've worked at places where, it's not like the big, super huge retailers where people are fighting, but I
gets chaotic.
was a higher up for pretty much half of those, more than half. So like I had to be in charge of the planning and like figuring stuff out, like making sure I got people, making sure they know where to go, making sure everything's stocked, knowing where absolutely all of the big ticket items are so we can point everything out, and like going like walking around, like making sure, because we would have people stationed at my one job. We would have like a couple of our people stationed at the different areas so they can point out things. So it's like walk around, help people, go to my team members, go around, make sure like they're good. Um, the last Black Friday I worked for was for a different company, and they're like, yeah, it's just like a normal day here. Even though they were a retailer, they're like, yeah, it's like nothing. Like,
It's
don't
like
get
nothing's
stressed out.
changed.
Literally, it was as slow as a Monday. It was just a chill day. Like it was more fun because like people are like, hey, Thanksgiving yesterday. Most of us don't have to work tomorrow,
Yeah, woo.
um, but yeah, Black Friday was never a big thing, and also I'm also big on this too. Like we will not decorate for Christmas until after Thanksgiving. Like
Yes.
my family will decorate the house like as soon as Halloween is done. They have inflatable turkeys, some harvest lights they put up for the few weeks Thanksgiving comes, and then the weekend of Thanksgiving, so the Saturday Sunday after is when they do Christmas lights. So we're
Yep.
very big on like we're going to have Thanksgiving, we're going to celebrate it, no Christmas. As soon as as soon as Thanksgiving is done, go for it with Christmas.
Exactly. See, that's okay with me. As you want to start Christmas on December 1st, get the bells a ring a ding a dinging and having lights? Absolutely, 100%. I'm right there with you. The second Halloween's over and I see people throwing up Christmas lights and playing Christmas music, I'm like, oh, pump the brakes, big shoots. We got a whole nother holiday in between here and there.
And also, for me, it was also very big because Ian knows this. The one company I worked for, we were setting up Christmas first week of September
Ugh.
and setting it up all the way through until Black Friday. So, like, people were talking about how excited they were for Christmas. I'm like, dude, I've been dealing with Christmas for 2.5 months already. Like,
I've had Mariah Carey on repeat the last 2 months, and you want to talk to me about Christmas?
well, luckily they didn't play the music just yet because so many people complained. But like, they had they have 2 weeks, so they have a schedule on like what we need to get done and when. They had 2 weeks alone for setting up artificial Christmas trees and making sure they're fluffed. So it's like 2 weeks straight of just fluffing Christmas trees.
These trees can't be fluffed anymore. They've been fluffed to their max.
And then my parents are like, "Oh, since that's what you do as your job, can you fluff our tree?" I'm like, "I am so done with this.
I am not touching that tree. By the
I
time I'm
I
done with that
have
tree,
to.
it will look deader than a doornail.
I I still did, and they still call me a professional tree fluffer, and at least I just have to do like 2 a year now. Yes.
I I would, you know, you should put that on a shirt. Please put that on a shirt and just go
We
around a
we should.
professional tree fluffer because it's going to raise a lot of eyebrows, and I'm going to be willing to bet a few of those people are going to be too afraid to ask, but it'll be in their imaginations, and they're
Hey,
going to
if
go
we
home and they're going to be like, yeah, I saw a guy wearing a shirt that said professional tree fluffer. Is that like a new thing? Is that like one of the new internet challenges? I don't know.
hopefully by next year at this time, we have a big following, a lot bigger following, and we sell some merchandise. And if you
Official
guys would
merch. I'm
want
going to be
that,
wearing an official tree fluffer merch.
yes. I would love to get to that point. So, I mean, if you're this far, might as well subscribe. Um, but I guess now, if we wanted to go into stuff we're thankful for, if we want to
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
a little
absolutely. That'd be a
sentimental,
nice way. Nice way to end it out. I would say, you know what, right now, for something this year, I'm going to say I'm thankful for the nice weather that we had yesterday. It allowed me to finish up working on my car and get that going again. So I'm very happy that the weather was nice. And you know what? It also sounds cheesy, but I am thankful for warm food in my belly at night, hot shower, and having a job, where I can go to a job and go to work. This is a cliche, I always list it off, but I figure those are always some good points to hit, It's a lot of things that can go wrong in the world, and, sometimes as frustrating as it gets, just having the basic necessities is enough. And it's nice to step back every once in a while and remember that.
yeah, for like, yeah, and a lot of this is going to be cheesy, but I mean, it's just basic things you should be thankful for. Like, one big thing this year, I'm thankful that we got this podcast going. That's super fun. Every Monday, we record Monday nights. We record 2 episodes at a time. Just sitting down, hanging out with Ian, great friend of mine, just talking about weird stuff and like things could
Weird
be
is an
going
understatement.
very much. Things could be just chaotic around the house or something, but it's like, hey, I I can be weird, I can be myself,
We can
just talk.
we can talk about whatever we want to talk about, and we know that it's just coming from the heart. And
Yeah.
if you think that we haven't always been this weird, trust me, we have. In
It's
fact,
gotten worse.
there's 30 some episodes that document it.
I
Well, I don't
think
know if it's
well, hold on. I think we're the same amount of weird. We've just got gained a lot of confidence
we've
in
learned how to
sharing.
channel it better,
I want to say
whatever
you
word.
have. Me, I've come out of my shell a lot more and let things fly more. Um, but going back to the thankfulness, very thankful. I have a fiance and very excited for our future, and that I'm gonna have a future stepdaughter, family, friends, all of that. My cats, even though Meg's left, um, he's somewhere, but um, that I have a roof over my head, like Ian said. I got a job and can support me and the girls, um, and grateful for any of you who are watching and supporting us. I know we're just kind of starting out, and we got a lot of room to grow, and yeah,
A lot of room to grow, but that's okay. We'll get it figured out as we go.
I'm sure
That's a good way to do it.
we'll touch up more towards the end of the year, like on the channel. Just do like end of the year recap or something, and then talk about moving forward. But that's in a month or so.
We got plenty of time to figure that one out. And we
So
absolutely won't because ad-libbing it is way more fun anyways. It leads
it
to,
honestly is.
leads to some wild examples. But as always, I mean, did you have anything else to add, or did we want to roll right into the outro with that?
I think we just kind of go into the outro. I mean, thankful for what I got and excited for the future. And well, like I said, we'll get
Up,
into that uh, around the new year.
burn that bridge when we get to it.
But you have the outro since I wait.
Yeah, I
Hold
do
on,
have
hold on. Quotes.
pump the brakes. Oh yeah, I suppose we could do the quotes. Yeah,
You got to do yours first because I did mine.
yeah, that's right. That's right. I had one ready, and
Or I did the intro.
I did not save it. Henry David Thoreau was who mine is by. Cranberry sauce. That's the first thing I see when I look down at my little omnipotent magic box. Not omnipotent. That's wrong. I don't know. I'm not gonna. Yeah, sure. Okay, well,
Just
it
go.
got rid of my quote, so that's fine. But I think I remember what it was. Henry David Thoreau, or I think that's his full name, whatever, says, "Never look back unless you're planning to go that direction."
Solid. I found one that goes with a thankful theme by Sterling K. Brown, and it just says, always have an attitude of gratitude.
Yeah, there you go. I think we can summarize the gratefulness attitude nicely by saying, sometimes we get caught up a lot in our lives, but every now and again it's nice to just step back, reflect, and think, you know what? Despite all the hardships, I'm doing better today than I was doing yesterday. And that's all right.
All it takes
Just
is 1% better.
1% better. Even if that 1% better is like brush your teeth a minute longer. That's better today than yesterday, and that's something to be thankful for. And as always, thank you everyone so much for joining us today on the BS Buddies podcast. Like, follow, and subscribe to become a bud today, and let us know in the comments down below some extra ideas that we can run into the ground over the course of 20 to 30 minutes. Because, to be fair, that's the best way we do things. We just take a topic and stretch it out till it can't stretch no more, and then put it in a vise and stretch it out a little bit more, and just keep going with it until we can't take it no more. And we'll give you a deadline on those professional tree fluffer shirts. We're going to get something figured out on that.
As a community, we will talk about it. So if you want to talk about it in the comments, I will definitely be replying. So
let us know if that's something that you want to see, because to be fair, I would love to see Joe in a professional tree fluffer shirt, because that would bring me an amount of joy that I cannot overstate to you at the moment.
Hey, you could design it and send it to me for Christmas.
Alrighty. Well, thank you everyone so much for watching wherever you are in the world this evening, and I hope you guys take her easy now.
And we'll see you next time when we talk about something stupid.